All right, it's still TMI reaching you live from the network service of ITV. We'll quickly get to Abuja now, where we'll go straight to our next talking point. Tolulope.
Thank you so much, Daniel, right there. Let's quickly hit the ground running right there, because I have with me live online right here is Steve Ewachuku, is economist. I will be taking a look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu economic policy, especially as it relates to tax reform, which is the subject of discourse across the length and breadth of Nigeria right now. A wonderful morning to you, Mr. Steve.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's hit the ground running. You are aware of the recent pronouncement by Mr. President on the reformation of the tax sector. What do you make of this?
Well, I think it's a good one in the sense that we have been clamoring for harmonization of multiple tax systems. But we don't know particularly what the presidency is looking at. But I think from the hint of that very meeting, it seems like the government is only looking for money, not actually looking at the ways to easing the burden of multiple taxes on companies and individuals. So from that, we are looking at, government is actually looking at raising more money or taxing more Nigerians in this sense, rather than looking other, plugging the loopholes and changing the method of collections, in the sense that there are a lot of linkages, there are a lot of people underpaying what they ought to pay, and a lot of people who have not also been migrated or captured into our tax net. If that is done, it will be easy to achieve the 18% GDP that government is looking at, but not to tax the existing people who are paying tax. That would be the wrongest thing the government will be doing.
We talk about harmonization of this, and this is a major source of worry for me, especially at the state level. When you harmonize the taxation and it comes to the coffers of the federal government, will the state government not be at the receiving end?
Of course, I think this is the time. It is a presidential committee on tax reform, so I'm very well sure that the state tax officers or the commissioners of finance and the rest of them will be incorporated, and their opinions will be sought. I'm sure the committee will go down to the states to pick up this very information and data, because the tax of federal government is not just resident in Abuja or capital cities, they are nationwide, like the income tax, like what do you call it, the VAT, value-added tax, and other taxes and royalties. So the committee will have to move that to the hinterlands, to the state, and we have input from them. So it's going to be holistic in the sense that the state will be there to make or to contribute to what they think is the best. So the question is, we have multiple tax systems where you have the federal government taxing a particular company, the same state government is taxing, the local government is taxing, the local authorities, they will tax you for community development fees, they will tax you for village development fees, and all that. So there should be some level of harmonization so that we have a one source and one direct tax payment system whereby it will help businesses to grow. Where you pay for local government, you pay for state, you pay for federal government, it's not actually healthy for businesses to strive. So I expect the state government to come in and also tell the federal government that these areas, our areas, whatever you collect on this should be remitted to us, which I know for sure that would be the quest of the state government. Like I saw a couple of months ago, we witnessed the state governors taking federal government to court in respect to VAT and other taxes, like the state government, Lagos state government, in conjunction with Rivers, it was the Rivers state governor that started that very legal battle, joined by other states that actually requested that the states where these very revenues are generated from should be single out and those money remitted to the state, not sharing it, taking it to the federation account, and it be shared among all states. So I think these are the area also that the committee will be recommending, and that will be beautiful for the states.
Okay, let's talk about the beauty of taxation. Though Nigerians are already crying, they are paying so much tax. An average individual walking on the side of the road, from the amount they pay to the cab operators, the agbiros collect certain sum of money. All this fund doesn't get to the covers of the government. And when you look at the antecedent of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos State, for a certain period of time, it wasn't collecting a revenue from the federal government. Talking about the entitlement, it was able to raise the fund from the internally generated revenue, which is the IGR of the state. And bulk of it comes from tax. How important is tax to the total turnaround of the country economy policy?
Of course, tax is the bedrock of every government policy. Tax is very important for every government. So tax is a source of whatever you should be raising to finance your physical project or your budget line item. So tax is very important to the life of every administration. So it's quite important that government places emphasis on collection of tax. The question would you, if you said you want to tax the system and you overtax the system, when you overtax the system, it brings a lot of burden. Just like you mentioned, the Agboro will collect on the road, the local government, the community, the state, the federal. So it's actually shrinking the number of businesses, and that's why sometimes, in fact, it's been predicted that the lifespan of a business in Nigeria to survive is around 6 months to 1 year because of taxation. Once you come up, you started a small business, you pay this, you pay signage, Aboros will come and permission to operate, and all sorts of taxes. So there should be some level of sanity within our tax system. When you harmonize it, if the committee can come up with good recommendation, and also the presidency having that very political will to implement, not just for the case or the face of media eye, inaugurated the committee, why they will not listen to the recommendations of the committee. My good friend who is headed that very committee is quite knowledgeable, and I'm very sure it's going to do a good work. So the posture of government to raise revenue through taxes is good, but the question is don't overtax the system. Yes, Nigeria is still one of the countries around the world that still pay one of the lowest taxes, as in the tax net. Now, what people fail to understand about our tax net and those who pay excessive of close to 60 to 50%, and you cannot find such in the world. For those who don't constitutes why we have a lower tax net. Currently, our tax net, in fact, it was even President Buhari that raised it from somewhere around 6.4% to current 10% or 10.5%. And President Tinubu is looking to take it to 80% to the GDP, the tax net of Nigeria to GDP. The question is, the number of people that are not within the tax net is what constitutes these very low figures we are having. But those who are paying excessively. You see the danger. Those few Nigerians that are paying more than what they ought to pay, just like you mentioned, multiple chains of taxes from the village to the local government to the states, the regional bodies, the state government. And those individuals who invest tax are more in number. So government and this committee should be focusing on bringing those individuals who have not been captured into the national tax net to be captured. Once you do that, we have even above the 80% that the federal government is targeted. But if they focus on the 60 taxpayers, they will not achieve anything, and much burden will be on these very individuals who are sincere paying their taxes.
I must say a big thank you to you, Mr. Steve, for joining us this morning on the issue of tax reform. And we'll keep, from time to time, we'll keep talking about it as the committee set up by the federal government consequently unfold their plans right there. Thank you so much for linking up with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, that's Dr. Steve Nwachukwu talking to us about the reforms of the tax sector by the federal government.